What's happening? Oh man, dang, it's hot out today, man. I was just thinking, man. It's like seeing all these, see a lot of videos, man, lately, man. It's like of, like excessive force, by the police, man. And it was like, I've seen things like this when I growing up, where motherfuckers people, excuse my language, man. People jump people, right? Or someone sucker punches someone. And it seems like when you watch the cops, man, like they'll arrest them, but they'll have like 8 cops putting their knees in someone's back at the same time, man. And it's just like, and if you look at it from a sportsman's standpoint, that's the worst thing you can do. Is jumping, is sucker punching, kicking someone while they're down. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me they don't. I've watched videos of 2 cops holding a guy down while a girl cop is cracking him in the fucking head with a stick. I mean, I don't know if you people forgot, but when you hit people in the head with sticks, it could kill them. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and then being also, I study kung fu and all that. When you study into the stuff, I mean, I'm not like the Cobra Kai type of martial artist people. You know what I'm saying? The violent kind, which is really they shame martial arts and kung fu by engaging in such just violent expressions of the art. You know what I'm saying? Or it turns it into a dark art when you use it in such a fashion. You know what I'm saying? Which totally, anyone who's ever taught it throughout history, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's really discouraged. Having a Cobra Kai attitude. So it looks like the police have been being trained by some Cobra Kai type guy from Karate Kid Part One. The dude he trains all his students to be just cheaters and just really forceful people, man. Which and that's another kind of new guy on the block archetype uh type of it's built off of that. I don't even know what to call them, man, but it's like stories, man, that they tell the same story again, like man who would be king, you know. But yeah, man, it's really sickening to watch, man. Sometimes some of these videos are like when cops are beating on chicks, like grown ass strong men. Like I remember I seen this one video. There's this woman handcuffed on the ground, and the police kicks her in the damn face. You know what I'm saying? While she's handcuffed, sitting on the curb, and the dude's standing, and he does a Muay Thai almost like kick. You know what I'm saying? He turns his leg sideways, so it wasn't just like a soccer kick, man. It was you could tell he was trained how to kick, and he kicked a chick in the face while she was handcuffed sitting on the curb. I mean, these are the type of situations that I'm talking about. I mean, they just do. Sometimes they do things the things you don't do, like hit a guy with glasses, hit a pregnant woman, kick people while they're down, jump people, sucker punch people, use weapons in a fist fight. I mean, it's sickening how you see people just defending. There's times where some dude wants to get rowdy. You might need 3 grown police dudes to take the guy down and get him in cuffs and chill him out. You know what I'm saying? You don't need 50 people to keep on beating on him. I mean, it's just, I understand. Look, when someone starts attacking me and then I start fighting back, and I start getting the better of them, it's hard to stop sometimes, man, because once you get engaged in that, but that's what you got to train yourself to do, is not lose yourself in a moment of rage. You know what I'm saying? You got to calm yourself back down. That's a That's a great skill, and I think that's what that's the police need training and calming down. You know what I'm saying? And not being angry. Don't take out all the other stuff you got to go through on every person. You know what I'm saying? Each person's different. Just because the last person gave you they were mouthy before you took them to jail or whatever. Who cares, man? Yeah, look, have sympathy on these people. They're going to jail or they're getting a ticket, or you motherfuckers just beat their ass, threw them on the ground, twisted their arm, threw cuffs on them, treated them like the scum of the earth, and you got most of the public backing your actions. So I mean, listen, that's on each individual person. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you're not going to get in trouble for beating people to death or using excessive force and violence. You're not, Mr. Police. But look, but your soul, man. You know what I'm saying? You're trafficking in your soul, man, by doing violence without cause, man. You know what I'm saying? The more you do that, you shame. Just like I was saying, how when people engage in Cobra Kai like mentalities, you shame yourself and the arts. You're not even really practicing the arts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this to smear you or shame you at all, man. Really, it's just to point these things out, because I've never heard no one actually point that out before. How you don't hit a guy with glasses. I mean, unless you have to hit a guy with glasses, but you know, you don't mess with listen, you don't mess with people when you don't have to, man. You don't do them violence when you can avoid it. And there's plenty of times I've seen them engage when they could have disengaged and avoided the situation. And in all actuality, the police sometimes escalate the situation to the point where it becomes a struggle of life and death. And it's not really the perps or whatever, the people that look like the perps, because they're, getting, it looks sometimes like they're being mauled by a pack of lions, man. By a pride of lions, it looks like sometimes. When you watch these police take people down, and I mean, there's how many of these times, for all the ones we have seen, how many countless has there been that we have not seen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if you don't think the police can be infiltrated, look at Miami-Dade County during the 80s, during the cocaine cowboy days. It was like 4 out of every 5 officers was corrupt and on the payroll. You know what I'm saying? Or what was the other one I was thinking of here? The KKK in the South. When the KKK infiltrated all the little small sheriff's departments and the other police departments, and then they get their brothers and their cousins and their other brotherhood members in, and they happen to be all racists. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying it's like that across the board, but look, Boston, that is a very racist state. I mean, I don't know why they're so racist. I mean, there might be a cultural happening, man, that in the past that we don't know about because we didn't grow up then, that they still hold on to the racism. You know what I'm saying? It is crazy. It's just like the Indians out here. People never. I mean, some people do, but it seems just not genuine, man. You got to think of the cultural. What's the word I'm looking? PTSD, the cultural traumatic memory. Like my grandma always used to tell me, man. Like, look, it's not the American government that robbed us. It was the feds, man. The federal government always targets minorities. Guess why Leonard Peltier is still in prison? It's because of the federal government. Because listen, COINTELPRO, the FBI, the Federal Bureau. Listen, they did COINTELPRO where they targeted Black Panthers, and they would do ops, like they would entrap them and shit and catch them. They do all these things, man, to get them. It's just crazy, man. They get these double agents in any agency or any ethnic group. They get these agents in there that entrap them somehow, and then they become agents of the federal government to spy on other people, kind of like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. These guys are these type of guys. Like I seen in another video about how there's a video called Breaking the Oath, and at the end of it, there's this guy who did this kind of like he got all this freedom of information, and it showed how the same guy, the first guy to get the body of Martin Luther King, was involved. He was there on the scene right when Tupac got killed. You know what I'm saying? So it shows you how they have operatives in these minority group movements that pretend like they're part of the movement, but really they help get people assassinated or imprisoned and entrapped. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of just funny political schemes, man, that the government does, and it's not just your whole government. It's a wing of the federal government. So people, when you say, "Oh man, F the government," you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of good people in the government, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's just the man. What am I thinking? What are the word I'm looking here for, man? It's like the way it's set up, man, is what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And some of their rules are discriminatory, and they have been from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't changed at all. I mean, it's just now it seems like they got a green light to operate in all kinds of mayhem and havoc and excessive force and violence. You know what I'm saying? Which, listen, rule by violence is terrorism. You know what I'm saying? It's terrorism. Rule by violence. Listen, I could suggest anything to anyone, dude, but listen, I can't. I have no authority over you to tell you have to do that. So this is something way different here. These people do have that authority, and it's not always used for the right reason.